Welcome back. This is the Swift Community Live race. You can actually find it on the Swift Community Live. They do a review of the race, and it's practically a really good channel to watch. They do a lot of the weeknight, Thursday nights, and Tuesday nights race. I really like Swift Community Live. Great venue. I mean, great channel to watch. Also, I want to thank everybody for liking and subscribing to my channel. I got a chance to do this race today at 1 o'clock. It's the 110 Swift Community Live. I was so happy to be able to do this one today. I don't think I'll get to make another one for a little while. It's been about a month and a half since I did the last one. So I was excited to get to this one. The strategy on this one's a little different. It's the SeaSide sprint. And I didn't know exactly where it ended at until I got to like 92% progression into the race. That's when I realized where I was going to end at. And you could tell because I started sprinting at that point. So I just want to update you on that. I want to thank everybody again. And I'm trying to get this thing to 100 likes on the video. And I'm trying to get to 200 subscribers by May. I'm at 153, 154. So if you can help me get to there, I'll be greatly appreciated. Petter was in this. I thought we was going to have Roland in here, but he wasn't there. There was a couple more guys in there pretty good. Also, I'm gonna let you know if I can do a recon Sunday night, and I know I'm gonna do this race on Monday. I think if I can get a good recon in on this race on a Sunday, because I know they run a recon, I think I may run this in C from now on. As long as I can get a recon race in. Because you got to remember, D class, I am officially a D, and so this would actually have been a recon for me for another race. Like this week when I run this again, since I won this one, I won't run this again. I may, so I can add it to a video, but I will run this in C from now on the rest of this week for sure. And I may run one more D, but makes no sense since I've already won one. So I'll probably run it in C, and I'll just post that next week. But probably this video at the beginning, but I'll make it really short so you can see this just was a recon run for that race. All right, with that, let's get into the race. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're off. And as I take off in this race, I'm riding the group. There are a couple of people who take off and leave the pack, but for the most part, I just really want to ride inside the pack. Every once in a while, as we get close to the end of the race, or like 70% progress, you can see my progression up at the top. And you can see, if you look at the sauce over there on my maps, you can see where the number, the KM up there, that's counting down, letting me know how much of the race is left. I have the progression on the middle right there. I have my position next to that. And also I have how much of the climb in the race, because I look at how many meters are climbed in this race, so I can keep tabs on, okay, there's no more climbing in this race once I reach this certain amount of climb. Also in front of that, where it's got the countdown of how long is left in this race, there's where the percentage of what the climb is. So if there's a climb and it tells me it's 3% or is it 5% or it's 6%. So that gives me a good idea of what's going on and where this race is. The sauce gives me so much information. The map at the bottom shows where the mountain is, where the elevation is, and it gives me an idea, okay, if I'm climbing or if I'm getting close to a hill, if I'm figuring to go down a hill, so I can know how to attack those surroundings. So this is really why I like the sauce. And also, if you look at the bottom, it gives you my heart rate. It gives you the heart rate of everybody else who's on Swift Power. And it gives you my speed right there. If you look at it, now I got the names and initials, so I have to kind of know, like PS is Petter Silva, that's him. The L, I don't know who that is. I know that HB, I raced him. He's the one who beat me in one of my races before. I can't say which one because I haven't shown it yet. Sorry about that. And this climb right here is what happens at the end. I did not realize this climb was the final climb in the race. Not until I got into like 92% progression through this that I realized this was the climb. And I knew I have super tucked this climb before. So in my head, I didn't know that right now, but once I realized where I was by the end of the race, I knew what was going on. Right now I'm riding and I'm not realizing that I know this is a circle, but I'm thinking I'm gonna end over by the volcanoes. I don't know why I was thinking that, but because we do ride towards the volcanoes, but as we're riding, I'm looking at it, I'm thinking to myself that we're gonna end up at the volcanoes. I'm not knowing that I'm gonna actually end up right there at that finish line is right there what we just went through. So, and being honest, if I can stick with C's all the way up to the end right here, when we get back around here, I'll show you where I will attack this at. And boy, I'm just giving it all away. So if somebody watches this video and see me racing a C race, they're gonna know that where I'm gonna probably attack it. But I will give you an idea where to attack this. Because if you watch the Swift Live today, they're in this Class C race, the category C race, they rewinded it and they showed what this guy attacked and he won the race. He attacked the race almost exactly where I attacked this race at today. I mean, I looked at him and when he attacked it, and I only attacked it where he attacked it at because of the idea that I realized where it was. We was at 92%, and I knew where we were, that downhill was going to give me a chance to relax and cool back down. I think I could have got it if we'd attacked the hill at the same time. The difference is you have to remember, when I'm riding with C's and I'm riding with D's, I kind of ride a little slower because I'm riding with them, but when I'm riding with C's, it's a lot easier because they actually tug you around this track a lot faster, which a couple of people was giving me comments on saying that, hey, Ty, you will do really good in C because you will have people tugging around and you'll get a lot more break from just being in front. And that's the truth, because the only places that you really have a struggle for me is this hill right here, and that's just going into the volcano, and the other one where we hit that climb right there at the end. If I can keep up with you at damn spots, that's fine. And the one thing about C's is the fresh C's are hard to keep up with. But once you get closer to the end of a longer race, it kind of evens itself out. My power, my endurance, their lightness, their endurance kind of evens itself out. It becomes kind of an even race, most likely. So as we're racing, we're coming through here, and I'm looking at, and this is what throws me off. I see the 3. So I'm thinking in my head, we're going to come back and finish around here. And I don't know why I was thinking that, but that was just constantly on my mind. That's where we're going to finish at. So I didn't think much about it. So as we're riding, you can see that I'm looking at the group that we're in. I'm trying to stay back with them. And I know that when we come back through here on the 3rd time, that I'm going to have to kind of push them a little bit just to keep them going. And that's what I try to do here is I try to push the group that I'm with. I look at their heart rates and I see if they going back down. Like, you look at my heart rate, I'm 147. And that's because of my size, my weight, and my age. So I look at everybody else and I figure most folks can push 160, 170 in that area. So what I try to do, it may seem funny, but what I try to do is I can easily ride on, especially his, you see it's 0, it's a -0 flat. That's a regular flat. You see -0 and then negative flat. That means that it's just slightly negative, but not enough to put a percentage in there. That's an easy place for me to run. So at the end of this race, if you notice, when you come down that hill, it's a flat. And I can maintain that speed. If I had an arrow helmet in the end of the hill, it would be unreal. So as we're racing this race, I look up and I look at the guy in front of me and I'm going, okay, cool. We're just going to ride this right here. Now, this is where I'm starting to realize, okay, we're going back around the 2nd time in that same spot that we were in the 1st time. And I get that clue. I go, okay, cool. But I really don't recognize it until we start going down these lumpy lumps. You'll see it. And I kind of let myself relax now. And I just let my weight kind of take over. Because when we do these little, I call them lumpy lumps, but they're rolling hills. When we do the rolling hills, it kind of lets me speed down a little bit down into the hill. Look how far I go. And I don't lose much coming up the hill. I don't lose speed until we get over like 5%. That's when it really starts to hit. But up until then, I can power through most hills now. I've been doing this a long time, and I've been racing now and powering through so many hills, trying to anticipate people attacking right here. This is where you attack this hill at right here. And I come on up to the top of this, and you see everybody's trying to catch up to me, and I stay powered into this hill. Now, I know that as the race goes on, they're going to get tired before this hill. Now, I did not know this is where we was going to attack it at, but I knew that we was going to get close when we get to that flat. I started kind of putting that 85%. If you notice, I started keeping it up towards the 40-kilometer spot where I was trying to make everybody kind of work a little harder. So you see, we come down this flat. You see how I come through that 55, 56 kilometers. And I just come through that. And what I do now is I just ride. And I let them catch up to me. And what I do is just try to keep that momentum. You notice it's a -7, a -8. And I just keep that momentum up, forcing them to ride with me. And I know we just came off a hill and they tried to coast down the hill, but you still can't let me get too far ahead because you're in trouble then. So as you can see, I'm out front and I did this. And if you see, my heart rate is not really that high. And I was riding and I kept doing this. And I kind of wanted to get back in the pack. Now, if this was a Class C race, I would have just been riding with the pack. They would have been around me right here. And I could have been fine, but in my head, I was thinking, I'll just ride and let them catch up to me. But I was forcing them to ride a little faster. And I looked down at the heart rates and I would see, if you look at the heart rates, they're a little elevated more than what I am. I'm 147. So, you know, like I told you, I had to get back into racing shape. So I started growing a little bit more to get my heart used to riding again. So now that they catch up to me, that's MS. I don't know what it is, but he's right next to me. He's riding right exactly next to me. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, cool. I'm gonna let him get in front of me. And you notice how I kind of slide back into the group. I give a thumbs up and I just kind of slide. I don't want to be in front all the time. I just wanted enough to push them so we were all doing 23, 24 miles an hour. So we're all riding. Now, once we get close to here, I know that the hill climb coming. So I had a fella and I hit it here and I take all off with the hill again. I power into this hill. And it's only certain spots where I have to power into this thing a lot. For I power into this hill and I take off up the hill. Now they come up behind me. That's Silver coming up behind me. That's Petter coming up behind me. And that's Petter and Silver and MS. I don't know who MS is, but they come past me. But when we get inside of here, if you look at it again, it's a -0, meaning it's a negative flat. So it's easy for me just to kind of ride this when I get my momentum coming over the crest. And I only have one spot to hit right here. And this is where you get a little climb here. But outside of this little climb here, it starts to go negative. And it's just a lot easier for my weight to let my weight do most of the work once we go under this here, right here. Once we go under there, I kind of let my weight do all the work. I let it push us down, let me push me down, and I ride out front. So that gives me a chance to almost keep them pushing behind me. And that's the whole goal of this thing. Never let them not stop pushing. Because if I do, they're going to be rested up enough so at the end they can attack with me. So my goal is kind of to make them push, even after we do little climbs, make them push with me, and we just keep riding. So my endurance is really big to me. My weight helps me out a lot, but my endurance has to be really, I have to keep working my endurance so that I can keep pushing, because if we have a hill climb at the end, I get left. So I have to learn to always push and know where to push and when not to push and when to push. So if you notice my heart rate standing in 140s. I'm in a comfortable area. I'm not breathing hard. I'm not wearing myself out. I'm just kind of riding with them, trying to stay in that middle of that pack. And I don't want to get out the pack. I just want to stay right there. Look at my draft numbers. I keep my draft numbers up. Now, if anybody want to give me a comment, I would like to know what the draft boost really does. I really haven't figured that one out yet. So and this is where I finally started putting it together that, oh, okay, we're coming back around here. But I still don't think that's going to be the finish line. I don't know why it wasn't connected to me in my head that once we go over this last hill down here, that this is where the finish line is going to be on the other end of that decline. It never occurred to me. And once it did that, I was thinking in my head, I could have ran this and see if I had known, but I did not know. So that's the whole thing about the recon on Sunday. If I ever get a recon done, I will run this. Since I have this one done, I kind of know how to attack it when I race with C's. So Petter's right there riding with me, and I know he can keep up with me if I let him stay too close. So we're riding. I know that we got one more lap to come around here, and I know I'm thinking to myself, okay, cool. Once we get to 90%, I have an idea where the race is ending at. I have no clue right now. So in my head, I'm going, okay, cool, let's just get over this hill. You notice that I come up over this hill about 700 watts. I'm at 29%. And then I go down, watch how fast I get on this other side of this hill. Watch my speed get up to when we get to the other side. Now, you see I'm powering in this hill. I just wanted to see what would happen and how far out I can get. I didn't know what I was going to do. So you see I got up to 61. So then I look down and I go, okay, how close to everybody else? I get to 15.3. I go to 15.4 just a second before them, 15.4 behind me. So I go, okay, cool. That puts me about a second ahead of them. And I look at the speeds and I'm still riding pretty good ahead of everybody. So I said, okay, cool. I just keep not pushing hard. You see my heart rate up. So I'm like, okay, was it worth it? And in my head, I'm going, yeah, it's kind of worth it because we're at 70, almost 75% of the race done. I'm making them push to catch back up to me because they don't want me to get too far out ahead. Now look how far along I ride out in front before they actually start putting back up in front of me. Now we get to here, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, cool. If they can come back up to me, I'm gonna force them to catch back up to me. And once they catch back up to me, I can just keep the pedals going to where we at, and I won't let them actually calm down. So I look at the thing, and I'm at 157. I see everybody else at 160. Some of them are down at 150. But now I'm trying to calm down because I'm like, okay, we're almost at 80% of this race done. I got to prepare for sprint, so I have to calm down. So I start breathing in, taking my time, moderating how hard I'm breathing on. And you notice my heartbeat is slowly coming down. I'm letting them, and now I have to actively back off so they'll pass me because I want the help that they can give me. It's only gonna be a little while because we get ready to go up there where we gotta do another climb. But I want as much help as I can get. So all you see, I back off, I scoot over behind him, the guy in front of me, and I just let him ride. I'm at 148 beats per minute. I slowly calm myself back down. 147, you see I'm slowly calming myself back down, but we're still moving at a pretty good stint right here. So now I power back into this climb right here. And that way they don't leave me on the climb. So I power back in the climb, which forces everybody else to power back in here. But because I hadn't been pushing that hard, I have room to climb. I have room to sprint. So now I'm thinking to myself, okay, we're at 81% of this race. So now I'm really contemplating, trying to figure out where's this race ending at? And I just, for some reason, I just can't get it in my head where this race is ending at. And I'm looking at it, and I'm trying to think about it, and I'm going, it's got to be close. And that's all I can come up with in my head. I don't know why I was thinking like that, but I was thinking the end has to be close. So we're at 85%, and we go through this, and I look over and I go, okay, I knew it wasn't here, and I know there's a straightaway coming along. So now I'm thinking I'm at 156 because you know I had to climb that hill. The heart rate takes a moment to catch up. I'm thinking to myself, I'm gonna let myself calm down again, but I'm gonna keep the pedals in because I'm not stressing as much to do this. You see I'm at 67 pedals per minute, 70 pedals, and I'm just trying to keep enough momentum going off that climb that I can just keep them rolling with me. We're doing about, I want to say about 24 miles an hour. So right now, I'm thinking to myself, I'm pushing them enough that they have to actually push with me. I'm not leaving them a lot of room to sprint or relax. I'm trying not to leave as much room for them to relax. Look at my heart rate. I'm down to 156, 155. I was in 160s. But what I'm doing now is coming around here, and this is a negative flat for most part. So I don't have to work as hard. So now I'm kind of just relaxing. I'm trying to let them come back up and get in front of me. Now we're at 89% of this race through. This is close to, at 92, I'm gonna realize where we at. I realize I can push as hard as I want to. Now, not right here, but wait till I get about 92, 93% in here. I'm gonna realize, oh, I know where I'm at now. And then I'm gonna change my mind on how I'm gonna race this thing. Now you're gonna notice, once we get to 92, I'm riding here, and I'm thinking about, okay, I know where the race is gonna end at. And I decide, okay, cool. We're gonna push into these rolling hills, give myself a chance to get a little bit of momentum going. And you see how I'm starting to slowly speed up. And I'm slowly putting in more power. My heart rate is climbing, but I have the room to climb because I know on the other end there's a decline coming. Now that I know where I'm at, I start hitting these rolling hills just right so I can keep 50, I'm trying to get it up 50 kilometers when I get to the bottom of that last hill so I can climb with it. So I'm doing these rolling hills and I'm looking down and I see that I'm just barely ahead of everybody, but I'm hitting these rolling hills just right, forcing them. Look at their heart rates. Look at everybody who's closely behind me. Pebble, here's at 176. Mine's at 167. You got somebody behind him. MA is at 182. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, cool. We go to the bottom of another hill. I'm coming down here. This is where I'm going to power into this thing. Now watch I hit it at 51. And it enables me to get to the top of this hill inside the 40s almost. I'm at 38, 37, 36 at the top. And now watch, I do not come out the power. I'm powering all the way into the decline. Look at my speed. I'm powering straight into the decline. I'm not letting them catch up to me. I'm still powering into this thing. Now look at my speed. I'm at 60. I'm at 61, 62, 63 kilometers an hour. And it's all flat right here. So all I can do is slightly power into this thing. And it gave me 0.2 kilometers ahead of them. The race was won. I want to say thank y'all for following me. Thank y'all for this Swift Community Live. Let's get to this thing. They're not going to do it next week, but we'll be back in a week. with that being said, ride on.